Standing up in McKinney. This is According to Callus. It is episode 416. Coming to you on April the 12th. You know what? I just realized it's not April. It is May the 12th. Wow, where did the time go? Oh, burning the candle on both ends will wear you out sooner or later. Let me just tell you, I've had an exciting week thus far. I had two very good political meetings, and you know what? I am looking forward to a vacation. So yours truly is going to go on a brief hiatus. Starting next week, Tuesday, I'm going to be gone for 5 episodes. Next Monday will be probably a bonus fun long episode to tide you over for my vacation break, a little hiatus. I'm going to probably throw up 1 or 2 best of episodes, if you will. I guess I can do that now that I have over 400 episodes. Something to tide you over so you don't forget about me while I'm gone. Oh, yes, the 80s songs are roaming. All right, so it is a 5 for Friday. Before we get there, let me remind you can help me help you. Like, share, and subscribe to the show. If you're particularly motivated and or impressed, or quite frankly, if you're just a tad educated, infuriated, informed, entertained. Oh, I can't think of more adjectives at the moment. But hey, if any of that is true, do me a favor. Review and rate the show. Help me out here. I do this. It's my labor of love. Unlike some other elected officials, I do believe you can love the community you live in and disagree with me. One of the unique aspects of doing the show is I do occasionally run across people that know who I am, know what I do, and I'll engage with them. And you know what? I love to have conversations with people. You keep it honest, keep it straight. Don't come yelling and screaming at me, and we can have a great conversation. I'm always open to people that want to talk about why they believe what they believe and what they think. That's a good way to communicate and grow. Both of us get to grow. So keep at it, folks. Keep at it. All right, here we go. On to the show. 5 for Friday. Number 1, a loss as a lesson. So you may recall we had a terrible weekend last weekend. It was a horrific massacre Saturday afternoon, and under other circumstances there'd be a pretty terrible political disaster, but that's completely overshadowed by the fact that there are 8 dead bodies courtesy of one madman. That can't be overlooked. That can't be ignored. But life goes on. There are still people mourning, and that is appropriate. There are still people saddened by and grieved by what happened. That is important and completely within the realm of normalcy, right? Everybody grieves in their own way. Everybody takes the time they need. But there's still a battle raging in the background. And it may be meaningless compared to 8 dead bodies in many people's eyes. And that's a fair appraisal of the situation. But at this point, the Collin College hangs in the balance. So the loss is a lesson. You know, we ran a number of candidates. I personally only endorsed 2 candidates this entire cycle. One is maybe in a runoff and the other one lost. And I'm okay with that. I have no doubt that I endorsed the best candidate in the Prosper ISD race, in my opinion, win, lose, or draw. And I have no doubt that I endorsed the better candidate, in my opinion, in the McKinney city council race. And as I said before, and I'll say it again, even if he loses, the guy that wins, he's okay. I don't dislike the guy. I don't hate the guy. I don't want anybody talking smack about him. We're not going to agree on some things politically, but he's an all right guy. There is no disrespect in my heart or in my mouth for that guy. But the loss should be a lesson. And why do I say that? Well, we need to figure out what did we do that didn't get us over the finish line. There are a number of races that we should have won. There's a number of races we were pretty sure we were going to lose, but we thought we'd put up a very valiant and aggressive effort and maybe, win something or at least scare the heck out of them. And you know what? We did do that. We did run a solid race. We did have a number of people overperform. They did well, considering they're running against entrenched incumbents. There's no shame in that. And I hope at least one of those people comes back and takes another shot at it. At least one. But the lesson is, we've got to learn from our mistakes. We've got to take time to assess, how did we get here? What did we do wrong? Did we do anything right? And what did we do right? Could we do more of it? How does that apply? Are there different things we could be doing? Those of you in the business world know this is a SWOT analysis. Yeah. Talking to a friend of mine this morning, he threw that term at me, and I started to rattle off what I could remember, and I didn't get a chance to finish because he said, opportunities, threats. Yeah. Okay, you got me, man. Okay. Stuff's rattling around in my brain all the time. Again, but the lesson, what is the lesson? The lesson is, you can't keep doing the same thing all the time and expect to get different or better results. So let's see where we go. Number 2 of the 5 for Friday. Yes, runoffs matter. Like I said, I referenced the fact that we've got 2 races that are going to a runoff. The College Board hangs in the balance. For those of you that don't pay attention, right now the College Board runs the Community College of Collin County, and they do an excellent job. They're inexpensive for both the students and inexpensive for we the taxpayers, and they provide a great service. Unfortunately, it's the only non-leftist college around, and the leftists aren't content to leave it that way. They're running their progressive candidates. They're looking to overthrow the established order there. And look, nothing's perfect. I'm not going to pretend that everything's sunshine and lollipops, but that's a darn good school, and I'm glad that it's my alma mater. I've got a alma mater. Wow. Not martyr, mater. I've got my associate's degree from there. And that was a great school. And I would highly encourage any young person to get their dual credits there or to, participate in anything you can, because it is a great school if you live in Collin County using Collin College. Wow, it's a long day. But you can't ignore. You can't just coast. It's no longer, to borrow somebody else's term, 1995. It's no longer 65-35 in Collin County, baby. It might be 54 or 46, but you have to actually show up. We've had a lot of people move here. They are conservative, but they think they made it to the promised land, and they did. But you know what? The promised land is under assault. There is a siege right now going on, both literally and figuratively. In Collin County, we need to hold the line. It's important that we don't let that college go full progressive. And then, of course, there's a very probable runoff that's going to occur in the McKinney City Council race. My guy gets another shot at it. So I'd encourage you, go and help our man, Tom Meredith. All right. Number 3, longing for peace. At one of those political meetings that I had on Monday, I kept thinking to myself, these people are on my team. They're not my enemy, but why are they acting like they hate 20 or 30% of the people in here? Why are they so aggressive and spiteful to the people around them? And I say this knowing that maybe I danced a little bit on the line of being rude back to some people, but honestly, I came in with a smile on my face, and actually when I left, I had a smile on my face too, but the reality is this is supposed to be a team. We're supposed to be working together. And it seems like some people didn't get that memo. So I long for the peace. I long for the return of détente within my own party. These guys need to understand that, there is more than one flavor of Republican. There is more than one branch within the party or conservatism. They don't get to define everybody at all times. And it's sad. I mean, and I've talked about this, and I've told you all on this program many, many times. I am probably the most liberty-oriented person in that party by my county. I routinely have to back off my personal preference for the bigger picture. I have to routinely work with people that don't value liberty as much as I do. But you know what? We agree on a ton of stuff. A ton. And the things we agree on are much more likely to be accomplished than whatever thing that I might want to do that's on the outskirts of acceptable thought. Yeah. Look, I'm not talking about anything crazy. We've covered this, right? We've covered this. All right. Number 4. Yes, item number 4. We're blitzing through these two here real quick. The other side. I guess half-heartedly stole that from somebody else. I don't remember who I heard say it first. But the idea is the other side is the other side of the night, the other side of the week, the other side of the page, right? It's a non-defined thing, basically indicating we're finishing what we're doing now, and when we get back, it's going to be on the other side. What I tell you is, I firmly believe that we're not promised tomorrow. That we can only do the best that we can do with what's in front of us today. I have friends that have been far more successful than I have, and they plan everything to the nth degree. Kind of envious of that, in a non-sinful way, of course, in that I wish I could invest the time and energy into planning all the things out in my life to where I could maybe have a little bit more success. And you can define that however you want. But the reality is, I've known people that were doing that, and they didn't wake up one day, or something terrible happened to them, and all their plans were cast aside. So, for me, my biggest fault is, I have a hard time planning things out. Well, I can plan tomorrow. I may even plan a week out. But if you ask me to plan long term, other than gross generalizations or basic ideas, I'm lost. I'm really fortunate to be married to a planner and somebody that's uber detail oriented. I would be in trouble without her. And, guys talk about their wives being a saint and, whatever else. I just say my wife is my better half. My wife allows me to function and be successful at what I do. My wife is a type A, firstborn, and not afraid to push back. And I appreciate that. It's necessary. It's good. And when it comes down to we got to make a decision, yeah, it's on me. But we do everything together. And occasionally I forget that, and I know from occasion she's forgotten that too. And it usually comes back to bite us on the butt. But we come back and we move forward and we act together. We are a team. And, I guess 2 months and 20 days. It'll be 30 years. 30 years that I get to celebrate being equally yoked with a great woman. And I wish that every guy out there was as blessed as I am. And these are things that, when you talk about the other side, I'm talking about the other side of 30 years here in 2 months. I'm talking about I've been on the other side of 50 now for a little over a year. Some of that stuff is, I didn't see that coming. But some of it is, I've made that accomplishment. It's a great thing. It feels good. All right, item number 5. Time to think. One of the most important things you can do is to get some downtime. some idle time where you can try and shut your brain off, try and shut your mouth down, try and not think about all the consequences of everything that's happening today. Not game out the future disasters, not dream of future triumphs, but just think about enjoying the day that you're in, enjoying the time that you have with your loved ones, enjoying visiting and spending time with people, making the most of the moment in front of you, casting aside the worries of tomorrow to enjoy your today, to think about what you've done, where you are, who you serve, and what's next. And by next, I mean quite literally, what's next? What am I doing 5 minutes now? What am I doing 5 hours from now? And what am I maybe going to be doing 5 days from now? And, in the past, I'll go on vacation on holiday, and I'll get 3 or 4 days in, and I start to dread the fact that I'm going to have to drive back to where I've come from. It's only 2 days out. Oh, man, I got to start thinking about packing. And it mentally ruins it for me. I don't know if any of you do that, but for me personally, vacation, I get to enjoy about 3 days of it, if I'm lucky. And by enjoy, I mean just thoroughly disengage from all the cares and the worries and just be in the moment. Because before that, I'm still decompressing from the process of getting there. And then the 2 or 3 days before I got to go back, I'm already starting to think about what I'm going to deal with when I get back. And that's tiring. That's exhausting. And, I don't know about you, but that kind of makes your week-long vacation really only 3 days long. And, you got to make the most of it. You got to take that time and you got to spend it wisely with your loved one, with your children, with extended family, with friends. You got to make the most of it. This last year or so, I watched an acquaintance of mine. I watched is probably too strong a word. How about I was notified of an acquaintance of mine dying rather suddenly, and also a good, childhood or high school age friend lost his wife. I mean, it's, where did the time go? How do these things happen? What are you going to do about it? Those are all fair questions. That's why you need to cherish the moment, live in the moment. My wife is really good about reminding me that, Stephen, if you quit worrying about tomorrow, you might be able to enjoy the moment you're in now. What's even funnier about that is that's the pot calling the kettle black. She's looking in the mirror when she's telling me that. Let me tell you, ladies and gentlemen, we are two of a kind. We worry about different things. We have different concerns, but we're always thinking about what's the next thing down the road. What are we going to have to deal with next? It's real challenging to just disengage. A few years back, before the the great catastrophe of 2020, my wife and I had managed to go on 5 years worth of cruises. One a year for 5 years. And that was a really enjoyable time. I mean, we would go out to sea. The cell phones got put up. They were locked up in a little safe. There's no cell phone service. Completely detached. And boy, did we have a great time. Just not being involved or plugged in. No cares in the world. Our children were old enough to pretty much look after themselves. And Grandma was right down the road to take care of the younger one. And the older one was, pretty much free to do what she needed to do. And there's a little bit of pride in the parenthood when your child has been successfully raised to where they're capable of taking care of themselves without needing their mommy and daddy for piddly little things. And the sad part that comes along with that realization is your kids don't need you anymore. They've moved on. Now, maybe at some point in the future when they have their own kids, Grandma and Grandpa come in awfully handy. But that's a ways off, probably. But you have time to think when you disengage. You have time to shut it down and enjoy what's in front of you. And ladies and gentlemen, as I prepare to take a little break, let me tell you that I strongly encourage you to do the same. Maybe not from this show, mind you, but, from your normal life, take that break. Shut it down. Rest your mind. Rest your soul. Reconnect with your loved ones. Think about where you've been, where you are, and where you're going. And with that, this has been a Gordy Nicalis and my 5 for Friday 5. 5 for Friday, whatever. I'll settle on a title and put it up shortly. And with that, I will see you on the other side.